Tony in Philadelphia. Hey, Tony, what's on your mind today?
Hey, how you doing, Tom?
Good.
Just like to start off by saying I'm a big fan of the show, big fan of your work and all that stuff.
Thank you.
I was like to speak to you about the shift gears a little bit here, if I will, about the current state of the Democratic Party we're in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm witnessing this a lot here in Philadelphia, where we're most certainly, I'd say, the definition of a blue collar working city, probably the last stronghold for organized labor in the country, if you will. I hear a lot of talk, about, the Trump presidency and, the world coming to an end and all. And believe me, I'm by no means a big fan about Donald Trump being in the executive office either here. But if one thing I learned through politics, presidents come and go, Congress is here to stay, if you will. Look, the take on, where I'm coming from with this, and a lot of people who think like me, blue collar construction workers, union workers, and all, is that we're all pointing the finger of, oh my God, Trump's in power, and all. But as Democrats, we're really not taking a look at what we did. You know what I mean? For him to get to this spot. I'm under the strong opinion that there's no one more responsible for Donald Trump being in office than Hillary Clinton herself. But getting away from that really is that we're really seeing the divide in the country where, I, for one, feel, and I know I'm not alone in this, that we feel that the Democratic Party has gotten strongly away from representing blue-collar, working-class interests and has, entrenched themselves so much more in, kind of this Nancy Pelosi ideology. And, a lot of us feel lost. Like, I wouldn't say I'm one of them, but you can look at districts in Philadelphia where Democrats were, outnumbered Republicans 2-1, for example, but yet Republicans carried these districts. Yeah. So who's voting for them?
This is one of the Tony. Thanks for the call. This is one of the big debates inside the Democratic Party right now. Is do we go with identity politics, trying to forge a coalition of people based on their race, based on their sexual preference, based on their national origin, based on their religion, based on their gender preference? Do we try to build that coalition based on who people are versus do we try to build a Democratic coalition based on a set of economic values that were put forward by Franklin Roosevelt and Lyndon Johnson, that healthcare should be a right, that employment should be a right, that housing should be a right, that the government should be the employer of last resort, that the government should be the one who provides health care when, in a last resort situation, certainly, and maybe for everybody. Just a pure economic message. And, you can bring along a little bit of identity politics, but, it might bite you. And so just, let's just, and the reality is that I was talking with Larry Cohen, the CEO of Our Revolution, about this on television last night. And he was saying, Bernie is going to deliver the same message, whether his audience is white, black, brown, Muslim, Catholic, whatever. He's going to deliver the same message because we're all in this together at the level of economics. And I think personally that that's the way to do it. I think that, setting aside identity politics for the moment, minorities understand the differences between the Democratic and the Republican Party. And the Democratic Party doesn't need to make their entire sales pitch, we're friendly to black people, we're friendly to gay people. Because the Republican Party is out there aggressively saying that they're not. They don't want black people to vote. They don't want gay people to be out of the closet. They're just, they're just right out front about this. And it's one of the reasons that it troubles me that the DNC has just announced their 20 people for their transition team. And at least according to the Bold Progressives, that is the PCCC, the Progressive Change Campaign Committee, there's not a single, movement progressive in that group. They're all kind of just regular party insiders. And, I get continuity and keeping people in place who understand, where the light switches are and things like that. Clearly we didn't have that in the White House and we needed it. But I really think that if the Democratic Party wants to make a comeback, it's going to have to reach deep down inside and find those core values that Franklin Roosevelt governed by and Lyndon Johnson governed by, and that, frankly, Bill Clinton and Barack Obama campaigned on, but did not so much deliver on. And Barack Obama was obstructed in delivering, and Bill Clinton apparently was just not inclined to. In fact, was quite proud of the fact that he had ended big government as we know it, his phrase. And, you know, I think it's time for us to say, for the Democratic Party to say, no, we are the party of government that can work. You can call that big government if you want. We are the party of government that can work for the people. That's why this country was founded. Those guys who fought in the Revolutionary War took their lives in their hands, and in the Civil War, and in World War I, and in World War II, and every other conflict, took their lives in their hands because they believed that a government that can work for the general welfare of its people is a desirable thing. And you know, the Democratic Party's, for example, failure to be pushing single-payer health care right now is you know, very troubling to me. I think that, you know, it's not a good sign for future electoral victories. We'll be back.